Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And thank you for watching as we prepare for worship this Sunday, March 24th, the third Sunday in the season of Lent. So we all want our life to be fair, to make sense. And I think there's a certain innate sense within us when things are unfair that it's not right. We all may know that life isn't fair, but when we see things that are unfair, we want something to be made right. So I think that was where a lot of people's anger last week, where you had several celebrities and people with wealth who had paid for their children to get into institutions of higher education. And we said, hey, that's not fair. And I think one of the things that we often want to do is we want to put blame on people and say, hey, this is who was at fault. Here's who needs to pay for this. But that doesn't work in every situation. We may be able to say this is who's to blame when a person comes into a religious institution and begins to shoot. Okay, obviously the person who has begun to shoot is to blame for what's happening at that point. And there may be more to the question than that, but ultimately we can say here's a person who's to blame. But who do we blame, for example, when you have a weather system come down and drop inches and inches of rain on areas like Nebraska and Iowa and cause unimaginable damage in property and even loss of life? Or who do we blame when someone all of a sudden becomes ill and is no longer able to work and their financial situation changes drastically because of that? Some people will automatically want to create a narrative where here's what they've done that they somehow deserve this. You'll see that sometimes pop up in various Christian groups. But I don't think the Bible ever goes that way. In fact, the Bible dedicates an entire book to the question of a righteous suffering, and it doesn't give you definitive answers. All it gives you is a very long poem in the book of Job of a righteous person who's vindicated by God. And so how are we as people of faith to respond when bad things happen around us, when bad things happen to people who we know, when bad things happen in the midst of the world? I believe that our calling is to be one where we intercede and where we act as part of the people who are reaching out to try and make the world a better place. And so we're going to talk about this on this Sunday when we gather for worship. So we worship at 8:30 with our traditional service and at 11 o'clock with our contemporary service. I invite you to join us, and I hope to see you there. Thank you for watching.